So I originally I had a whole script planned for this video. I had a bunch of points I wanted to make, but you know what? I decided that I'm not going to do the whole script thing. I'm not even going to edit this video. It's going to be completely raw and uncut. And I know that a lot of you guys like that format better anyway. Actually, let me know below. Do you like the videos when they're more edited? I kind of just get right to the point. Or do you like it when it's a little more laid back and I'm kind of just speaking off the top of my head? Let me know which ones you like better. So I've said before in the past how, practicing retention in itself isn't what necessarily causes people, especially women, to be more attracted to you. I think that when you practice retention for a period of time, you sort of radiate a certain energy and confidence. And this is what ultimately attracts people to you. Now, I was hesitant to even really make this video. I have some notes here, so that's why I might just look down once in a while so I don't forget anything. I was hesitant to even make this video because I didn't want this to be some gimmicky clickbait thing. I think that a lot of those like female attraction videos, I think it's a little silly and kind of immature sometimes, But I want to talk a little bit about my experience with this because I do think there is some truth to it, And at the time, the reason I just didn't really care about that too much when, for the past couple of years, which the less that I care about it, the more that I felt like women were attracted to me. I was really devoted to the spiritual path. I slipped up a couple of times, and I can honestly say some of my strangest, most unexpected sexual experiences came from when I had long bouts of practicing retention. So, and I'm not going to get too much into the specific stories. If you watch my video called I'll Never Have a One Night Stand Again, I was retaining when that happened. And then I had a couple of other experiences that were just like where I basically did nothing and it just came to me. And they weren't necessarily good experiences too. So let me make that clear. But, I sort of checked out of the whole dating world for a bit. I wanted to devote myself to just my own personal development, spirituality. Wanted to heal from some past stuff, heal from some trauma and things like that, which I did. But, in recent months, weeks maybe even, I've decided to kind of let my hair down a little bit. I feel maybe called again to get back out there and, maybe share life with somebody. Whatever happens, I always keep myself open to whatever may come. And I suggest you guys do the same thing. Don't put a label on yourself like MGTOW or any of that, because just stay open to whatever life wants to offer you. You know what I mean? I really feel like that's the best way to live, whatever that may look like. Everybody's going to be different. Stay open to experiences and possibilities. That's really important. And I know a lot of you guys want a wife and all that stuff. I know that that's important to you. And I think that that's a noble reason to practice retention. I actually really do. Because women are a huge part of our life. We can't deny that. They're a motivating factor behind a lot of the things that we do. Sometimes having a good partner can really motivate you to better yourselves if it's a healthy relationship, a healthy dynamic between you two, and there's not a lot of toxicity in the relationship. Sometimes you can use each other sort of to grow. I've met couples like that. It's not common in this day and age, but I definitely have seen it. But like I said, I feel called to start exploring again. But I'm going to do so with a sense of detachment while, like I said, just allowing myself to be open to whatever comes. And like I said, I suggest you guys kind of keep your mind open to that possibility as well. I'm starting to see that the more I pushed myself to do certain things in life, like go to a yoga class, I started doing yoga again recently, or go on a long hike, maybe even join some sort of online group or something like a book club. It can literally be something really simple and stupid. The more you put yourself in those experiences while you have sort of this, because, retention gives you a very sort of euphoric kind of energy. And people notice that. It gives you a passion for life, like a vigor for life. And if you've retained for a long period of time, you know what I'm talking about, and this doesn't go unnoticed by other people. So I think that that's really all like what that female attraction thing really is. Now, I don't deny that it can't be some sort of something relating to pheromones. I don't completely dismiss that idea. I mean, at the end of the day, we are essentially just animals. So I don't see why that couldn't exist. I did some research, and I get mixed answers on whether or not humans even have pheromones. But I definitely think if we do, that practicing retention increases that, you know. But like I said, I want to keep this grounded more in my experience and what I truly believe truly believe why women are more attracted to you in retention, not just theories and ideas, you know. I mean, I guess essentially it's all just my ideas, but I don't know about the pheromone thing. I mean, I do think there's definitely probably some truth to that somewhere, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know, that I'm not going to firmly tell you guys like I'm a scientist that it's pheromones. You know what I mean? But like I said, the more that I push myself to go into situations that may be uncomfortable, that may be different from my normal routine, different than things that I normally do, I find myself meeting women, meeting new people, you know, meeting sometimes the right people. And that's the thing, you know, when you retain, you don't want to just sit inside all day or just go about the monotonous routine where you're just seeing the same people. You know, I encourage you guys to push yourself a little bit to do things that are different from the everyday stuff, you know? And like I said, the opportunities are there. I might not take them every time, but I see that they're there, you know, for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just not in a great mood that day. Maybe, you know, it just doesn't work out, whatever. But the opportunities definitely present themselves to you. So socialization is going to be key when it comes to attracting the right woman. You got to understand that. You know, retention can only get you so far. And you don't have to be a crazy extroverted, outgoing social butterfly. But you have, at the very least, you have to be able to put yourself in situations where there's people. You know, that's really it. The other thing that's important to note is that you have to transmute the energy. Because if you're just constantly having these strong urges that are just like controlling you, almost like a, you know, like a horny dog just running around all day, it's going to be really uncomfortable. It's going to be hard for you to, you know, meet people and socialize, in my opinion. So you really want to focus on transmuting that energy. You know, I made a video recently, the breathwork video. I really highly recommend you give that a shot. You know, breathwork is a great way to transmute the energy, the sexual energy. You know, and that was my first video of doing the breath work, but I'm going to do more better ones, a little more detailed. You know, it was just my first time doing it. So I'm going to do better ones that are more focused on transmuting the energy. Because basically what that means, transmuting sexual energy, is you're taking all of that sexual energy that's built up inside you and you're channeling it towards something else. And this, ultimately, in my opinion, this is what gives you sort of that confidence factor. Another thing to practice or to consider practicing is Kundalini yoga. I started doing this again recently. Actually, I've never done Kundalini yoga. I've only done regular yoga. But I started doing it recently, and I gotta tell you, it's phenomenal. It's on the same wavelength as breath work. You know, it's essentially taking the sexual energy and sort of moving it up. You kind of squeeze your pelvis as you're breathing, and you're kind of doing different movements and stuff. And it sort of brings the sexual energy up through your spine and kind of transmutes it. I'm still learning about a lot of all this, by the way. So I'm starting to find a lot of these sort of spiritual practices may seem a little quacky, but I'm finding that a lot of the things that came out of like ancient China and India have really improved me mentally. You know, meditation, yoga, pranayama, which is like breath work. It's where you like hold your nostrils and do different breathing patterns. You know, all of this stuff has healed a lot of pain that I had inside of me. And most of these things came from, you know, the Hindu religion, came from thousands of years ago, and yogis have been practicing this stuff for thousands of years. And I was very skeptical of all this. I used to probably make fun of it, you know, but I love it now. It's actually become my whole life. And that's what I want to teach this stuff to you guys, how important it is, how much it can help you as well. So as I mentioned, you know, retention, it gives you sort of this new passion for life. And people really do want to be around you. They want to be around people who are confident and passionate about life and are always enjoying themselves. You don't want to think about the person who's always depressed and always complaining. You try to avoid that person for the most part, right? You want to be around people who have a positive energy, and not like a fake kind of positive energy. It's like very natural. It's very genuine. Those are the types of people that I personally like being around. Real authentic people. So here are a few things I noticed when it comes to female attraction specifically, all right? Women want to be around you more. They generally will put themselves in your vicinity, and when they are around you, the conversations, in my opinion, seem to be more fulfilling. Now, I'm not saying that every woman that comes into your life is going to be like the one for you, but just in general, I've noticed that they seem to gravitate more towards you. And again, this could just be all in my head, but I would be curious to know your experience. And then the second thing is, I notice way stronger eye contact and gazes. Okay? Now, this is one that a lot of people say. I kind of thought it was bullshit, but I actually do find this to be true. And not even just from women, just from anybody. I just find that there's sort of more of a mutual, like you almost form like a better connection with humans. It's really interesting, actually. And I'm able to hold eye contact a lot more longer. I've actually always been kind of bad at that, but it's like it comes like more easily and natural for you. I remember this one time when I was retaining like 2 years ago, and it was crazy. Like, I was just so social. I was doing a couple other things at the time, like I was doing a lot of breathing exercises. I was doing a lot of like feeling my emotions and things like that. So I think that it all kind of tied in together. But I'll never forget that. It was like a period for a couple of months. I was like always had this crazy euphoric energy, and I still get it sometimes, but it'll never be as much as it was that one time. I don't know why. It was just that one period of time, and then it kind of lost it, and I never really got it that much again, unfortunately. So, but that's just how it goes. It's kind of it fluctuates, I guess. So when it comes to female attraction, I would say that those are the top three. It's like they want to be around you more. You have way more fulfilling conversations. The eye contact is stronger, and there's longer gazes, right? But the problem is, guys, is you don't want to find your confidence through this stuff. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with this being a good benefit of retention. I don't think there's anything wrong, but you don't want this. You can't find confidence in this stuff. You know what I mean? That has to come from within you. Confidence really comes from more so. It doesn't come from gaining things. It comes from losing any negative ideas or opinions you have about yourself. From just learning to accept yourself in this moment, who you truly are. Once you can do that, then that's where you really start improving. You know what I mean? Confidence can't come from the amount of women who hold eye contact with you or want to talk to you. That's all fleeting. I've talked about this before. So just bear that in mind. You don't want to just rely on this whole thing for your confidence, but there's nothing wrong with enjoying it as it comes. All right, guys. So I think that pretty much wraps that up. So thank you for joining me as always.